All right, so welcome to the show today. Today I have a special guest on the show. We have Dr. Dominik Klug here, who is a physician, health coach, author, and expert in all things health, longevity, and energy. And he's helping his clients improve in all areas of life, but mainly in health and energy. And we're excited to have you today. How are you doing?
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. I wanted to get you on because we got in touch kind of 2 or 3 years ago and been following you and following your content for a while since then. And me as a health coach myself, I always look forward to talk with people who are maybe ahead of me in certain areas and who work with clients every day to achieve their goals. And you have such great perspectives and content on all things health and energy. So I wanted to get you on. You just had your retreat, right? So you just came from your retreat. How was that?
Exactly. I just came from the Austrian mountains, actually, with some of our elite clients, and we just spend the weekend with them and just like enjoying nature. We go for hikes, we do wellness, but of course we also do the masterminds. We get into the nitty-gritty of the mindset stuff. So that's usually after they became healthy again. So like the health problems, they're solved, and then the people, they are ready to attack their lives, like personally, but also business-wise. And they are starting projects, and it's amazing to see.
Amazing. So it's for them coming there, being able to hike, being able to be active. Probably they wouldn't be able to do that before. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big step for them, actually, because lots of people that we work with, they are really exhausted. They are like in the fatigue, they are burned out, whatever you want to call that. But it's like seeing the progress and like seeing what's possible after a few weeks, after a few months, that motivates them, of course. And it's very fulfilling from me and the team as well.
That's beautiful. That's amazing. So let's get right into the topic.
Sure.
What do you see? What are the top 3 reasons people feel low energy and tired?
Yeah, absolutely. So in general, we have to say that this fatigue thing, being tired, it's becoming a pandemic, basically. Especially since the pandemic, like people recognize that their energy levels are getting lower and lower and lower, and people started to accept it. But I feel now that this is changing. So because they're seeing and because they're like doing the research and everything with all different kinds of experts, they say, hey, there must be another way around, actually. So that can't be life, I want to really enjoy my life. And there was a time when I did that, and I want to get back to that state, actually. And so first of all, usually we work with women. So 90% of our clients are women. I wish that was different, not because I don't like women, but because it's like men, they just need more push, actually, that they really get into their health optimization journey. So mainly we're working with women, and that's why, of course, we also see hormonal disbalances as one of the major reasons for this fatigue. So there's different kinds, and we can get into the nitty-gritty, but of course, many women, they take the pill, for example. So, we have a hormonal chaos here, like in general, so that's a big problem. But then also when they get off the pill, they usually do it wrong. So the body is like overwhelmed, and they have like this all different kinds of dysfunctions and like of imbalances and everything. So that's a major issue, usually accompanied by PMS, PMDS, whatever you want to call it, PCOS or PMOS, what is it called now? So this is like a very, very, very big thing. So that I would say is like number 1 reason when we work with our clients. Then second thing are problems with the gut. A topic that is vastly underrated, in my opinion. So many physicians, they're just ignoring the gut. They don't take care of it. They don't look at it. And if they do like an analysis, like a stool analysis, they do it like superficially, just checking like, okay, do we have some bacteria that are like out of order or like chronic inflammation? That's what they do. But they don't get into the nitty-gritty. And that's what we do with our clients. So there's like lots of different possibilities what can go wrong there. But it's also like very easy to detect, in my opinion, if you have the experience, and then you can also solve it. So that's what we do. We have like a holistic approach, but it's based on the root cause. That's very important for us, actually. So that's the second one. And then the third one, I would say, is mitochondrial dysfunction. Yeah? So if you know mitochondria, and your listeners, they know the mitochondria, they're known as the powerhouses of the cells. And there's like lots of stuff going on in there, but mainly because of nutrient deficiencies, for example, or maybe oxidative stress or whatever, there is a problem in there as well, which creates other kind of problems. By the way, this goes for the other two reasons as well, so you don't have them isolated, but they can also like impact each other and like, get into the system and influence and create problems there as well. Plus, what's also a big problem is you can have more than one thing. So you can have like deficiencies, mitochondrial dysfunction, hormonal disbalances, and the problem with the gut. So what are you doing now? So people are overwhelmed. You don't know where to start. But in summary, I would say these are the three main reasons, and they are the most common things that we see with our clients with fatigue and like low energy.
Okay, that's fascinating, because for me, we also work with a lot of clients who want to lose weight, want to get healthier. But I have to say, energy doesn't come up that often on my side of things. And I love that you have such an in-depth like knowledge and look into that, because I mean, what is a day without energy, right? I mean, you're living life at 10%, 20%, 50%.
Absolutely.
What do people usually share with you? What they experience? What does it look like for them? Like, so just maybe we can define what lower energy actually means in the first place. Yeah,
absolutely. So in general, like everybody wants energy, as you said it. And I always say you wouldn't go to the toilet with your phone on like 9%. So why do you stand up in the morning and say, I'm like 20%, but somehow I will get through it? So, I mean, that doesn't make sense, right? And the people, they realize it when the problems get too big. So, for example, they can't perform at work anymore. So their boss is coming to them, they're talking to them, the coworkers, whatever, and they say, hey, what's going on here? Your performance is not going well anymore, or they don't get the promotion that they want to have, or they don't have the results that they want to have. So this is going on like on a professional business side. And then, and this is, even more often a problem, that they see in their personal lives that their partners are dissatisfied with them. So something that we see very often that comes with the low energy is like a problem with the libido. So no sex drive anymore. And for me, it's no surprise actually, because if you want sex drive, of course, the hormones, they have to be in place, and you have to have the nutrients and everything. So for me, it comes as no surprise, and this is something that many clients tell us, maybe not in the beginning, but along the journey. Let's say it like that. So that's a problem that we see as well. So then they also realize, hey, I can't play with my children anymore. I can't keep up with them. If I have to run or play with them, like I'm getting exhausted. So that's the thing, And also like people who are just like very in tune with their body, they would just say, hey, something is wrong. Something feels off. I'm not the person I used to be actually. And then they go to the doctor with that. And of course, like the doctor says, sure. And they do like, the basic stuff with diagnostics, but it's so sad to see. But so many people, they're just not taken for serious, by the doctors say, you have to reduce stress. I mean, you're a woman, like you have to live with that. I mean, it's normal. I mean, you're getting older a bit, right? And this is all stuff that our clients hear. And it makes me sad, to be honest, because very often it just needs one test or like a few hours, like a few weeks, whatever you want to call that. But it's fixable. And that's a message that I want to get across right away. You are not the problem in case of like you're in your mind like all the time. The problem is not in between your ears. That's something that our clients hear very often. And that's a message that I want to get across. So if you feel something is off, something is going wrong, something is not going well with your body, you know your body. It's your body and you know it. The doctor doesn't know it as well as you do. Your parents don't know it as well as you do. So if you feel something is not going as it should be, then you have to take care of it.
Would you say that that's incredible? I love that, and I love to hear that there's hope, like for people that maybe are watching, listening to this. Would you say that how much of an effect does kind of the mental aspect has on energy versus the physical, meaning work, life stress, life situations versus actually something is wrong on your biology, the kind of level?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. So the thing is the following. You have the physical exhaustion. Yeah. So people will realize it. They'll say, okay, I'll go to the gym, I'll do my workout, but I realized, something is strange. Like I feel fatigued faster, for example. And then after the workout, and this is very specific that we hear very often, they say, I need more days to recover. I used to recover like in 1 day, maybe 2 days. Now I need 3, 4, 5, 6 days. And also they have like delayed onset like of muscle soreness. So they feel like fatigued and like pain in the muscles like for longer time. And also, and that's something that's very interesting to me. And I can't really explain it, to be honest. But some people, they say, I do the workout. Then the next day I feel like I'm getting sick. But I don't get sick. Okay. But I feel like I'm getting sick. Like this lack of energy that you have, like when you have like really bad infection, maybe like a little bit of sore throat, maybe a little bit of a headache, and then it passes. But when I do it, when I work out, I get that, and it's super frustrating. Yeah. So this is the physical aspect that we see and we can describe very clearly. And then we have the mental aspect, and this very often comes with a symptom that is called brain fog. So brain fog is like a symptom or like a symptom complex that we describe. And we say, hey, you recognize it by you feel like you're not into your life anymore. You're just like an observer of your life. It's like you're watching it, but you're not being part of it.
Okay.
You can't concentrate. You realize your memory is like getting bad. Like you used to have like a great memory. You can remember things and now you can't. You're reading a book and you read the page and you have no idea what you just read. Yeah, stuff like that. And that comes across very often, and it's a problem, in my opinion, that has to do with inflammation, like systemic inflammation that passes the blood-brain barrier and then goes into the brain. And then we have these crazy symptoms. And it's also a symptom that many doctors, they can't work with because you can't touch it, It's like, I don't know what to do with that. So and that gets into the mental fatigue. So then we have the aspect of stress, which plays into it as well. But in my opinion, to be honest, Fritz, everybody has stress. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest,
exactly.
right? How many people do you know who say like, oh, my life is easy peasy and I'm just chilling every day? Nobody, yeah? We all have stress. And it's good that we have stress because we are humans and we are made to deal with stress, yeah? So stress is not the problem. How we deal with it, and then afterwards, we need the recovery phases. That's the thing that we need. So many people have stress and then they put it on the stress. They say, I have these symptoms and I have these problems, but I'm stressed. Should be the stress, right? And the doctor says, yeah, sure, it must be the stress. In my opinion, that's bullshit. Yeah, you have the stress. It can contribute to the problem, but it's not the source of the problem. Yeah, same with age. Yeah, I mean, I know young people who have health problems. I know old people who are like in perfect health, perfect shape. So it's not the age. I mean, okay, the older you get, you have like higher chances of getting problems and diseases. I get it, absolutely. But it's not the root cause. And if you get into that mental aspect as well, I will give you one more example. You can feel super fatigued, super tired. Like, let's say, for example, I come from this retreat now. Yeah, I've been working with my clients one-on-one. Yeah, I recorded like a video course, like with 55 videos, like doing reels and stuff, content, everything. So very exhausting for me. Yeah. Yet I'm sitting here and I feel full of energy. How is it possible? Yeah. It's the surroundings, the people you surround yourself with. Okay. And that's a big thing, actually. And that's also playing into the mental state, in my opinion. So if you have a partner that's toxic, if you have a job that you hate, if you're around people who are like super negative and drag you down, that's a problem. That can be a root of the problem, like a root cause. And many people don't have it on their radar.
Wow. Yes.
But then when they are like starting to optimize their health, they're like, maybe I should end this relationship.
Wow.
And then like, wow, I have even more energy. I say, yeah, no shit, man. This person was like a vampire, man. Like,
like an energy vampire. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's also a thing that you can have. And there's a quote that I love, and it says, you're never tired when you're winning. And it's so good because you're working and you're working and you're working, especially for us. Yeah, we are like entrepreneurs. Yeah, we want to help people. We are working like so much. And then we feel exhausted. And then, boom, strategy like hits off, like you reach your milestones, goals. You're like, I can go forever now.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, you can gain energy from working.
Yes.
Isn't that insane?
And I get goosebumps by telling this, but it's so good, right? So, yeah, it's in your head sometimes. Yeah, because then when you have the achievement and everything, you create energy out of something. And that's actually against physics because, like energy cannot be created. Yeah, it's just like passed on and everything. But it can be transferred. And that's something that's so interesting. And the longer that I talk about this topic and like the more that I get into the research and the more and the deeper I get into this kind of, I would say, spiritual things. Yeah, some people describe it as spiritual. But like once you understand like the basics and the medical stuff and everything, you realize, wow, there's a deeper level actually, and it has nothing to do with what we can actually grab, but it's more like energy between people, frequency thing as well. So that's also something that you should consider it if you have this problem.
Wow. Yeah. Yes, one of my mentors, he used to say that God or the universe is trying to create through you, and when you let go and you actually just share like what your mission is or your gift, that it will not take energy, it will give you back energy. So creating, for me for example, is creating content, giving value. For some weird reason, just like you probably, when we have photo shoots, we can just keep going and going and going, even though we have so many other things going on. So that's a beautiful take. I want to get back to that. But I want to ask you, like, because you work a lot, your clients also have busy lives. How do you navigate that? So how do you navigate like pushing in the gym, pushing at work, pushing with in all areas of your life? Like, is there like a threshold where you can, the question is, can you push too much that you reach a certain state of burnout and then like it takes a lot of time to get back? Or can you actually adapt? So can you adapt your work capacity, your energy by doing more? Or is there really like a limit where, for me, for example, like when I'm at night, when I lay down, like I could keep working, but then I'm thinking, okay, this is not like physical work, this is like mental work, but does it make sense to send this message and to go into this topic again? Or am I borrowing from tomorrow and then I'm, I have less energy for the next day?
Yeah. And another great question. I feel it depends on the person. So let's say, for example, let's take you, for example. I mean, you're a healthy guy. You have like been into like health and like everything that comes with it for many years. So I guess you're taking supplements probably, right? And you're doing like your blood work regularly and you're working out and everything. So the health bank account that you have is pretty full, I would say, because you're putting money there, right? So in your case, I would say you can make bigger withdrawals from that energy account, even when you say, I already did a lot, Okay, let's take person B. He's not doing his blood work. He's not taking supplements. Goes to the gym like maybe once in 2 weeks. Eats fast food, whatever. Yeah, he's not into the health that really. He decides to go all in, like the same thing. Will that work out? I mean, probably not. Because in his health bank account, there is not enough money. And he's just like withdrawing. But he's never putting money into it. And so his chances of getting problems earlier are higher than yours, probably. Can you overdo it as well? Absolutely. And let's be honest, we both have been there probably.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can remember as well. Yeah, I had 2 or 3 mini burnouts in my life for sure. But I mean, it's like people are also, and I don't want to, like put it under the table or something. Yeah. But I feel like people they're too afraid of being burned out because they feel like it's the end. You burn out and then you're done. I mean, you're not a car that burns out and then you never drive it again. Yeah, you can get there. I'm not encouraging you to get there. Please don't get me wrong. But if you get there, you can get out of it, and you can detect early symptoms and see, whoa, okay, now I have to like step back. Yeah, I have to take better care of myself. I need to recharge myself better. And it takes a lot of awareness, and probably a good coach or mentor or doctor, whatever you want to call it. And so, yeah, like to answer your question, it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible to overdo it. But you can overdo it in a healthy way if your health bank account is full.
Amazing. Yeah. So let's start with that then. If someone, like, what would be the first step that you would take with someone that has low energy right now to figure out, okay, how can we actually fix it?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I can remember funny story from when I was working in the hospital, and I had one chief resident, and he was telling to me, you know what, Dominik, if nothing works out, you do the one thing, you go and talk to the patient. I was like, whoa, okay, that's crazy. And he was so right, because like the people will tell you if you ask the right questions. There's lots of stories that I can tell, but let's stick to it. So if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answers. And that's very important for us as coaches, doctors, whatever. Yeah. So that's where it begins. You're asking the right questions, you get the information, and then based on the information that you got, you will do diagnostics. Yeah. Because we don't look into the sky and say, maybe you have an iron deficiency. We don't do that. Yeah. We're just doing the diagnostics, we're measuring it, and we do different kind of panels and different kind of samples, and blood, stool, whatever, urine, whatever it takes. And then based on these results, we will make a plan. Yeah. And people will ask me, but what can I do now? I don't know. I don't know you. Like it could be this, it could be that. I mean, I talked about these 3 top reasons for low energy, but there's so many more. And we don't want to do it just based on like suggestion. We want to do it based on, there's the problem. This is how we fix it. And it takes a bit of patience, of course, and it takes a bit of work, but that's the only way that works long term, in my opinion.
Amazing. So having the blood test, could you maybe like just preview what numbers or what nutrients would be interesting to look at when you get the blood results? Obviously, like there's so many things you could be looking at. So maybe not every single one, but
I can give you like a top 3, 5, whatever you prefer. Because there's so many parameters, and like the diagnostics, the laboratories, they get better and better and better, like every day basically, and people tend to overdo it. I've had people who invested 2K, 3K, 4K into diagnostics, and it's like you get all this, and you're like, whoa, like what are we going to do with that actually? So more is not always better. That's the first thing that you have to know. On the other hand, you need certain amount of information to create an actual plan. Yeah. So maybe let's stick to the top 5 parameters. Yeah, let's say it like that. So let's say you're like fatigued, you're burnout. So maybe let's take it to the panels because it gets a bit more difficult. Yeah. Hormones must do, must have. Men and women, we need to look at the thyroid, we need to look at the adrenal glands, we need to look at the sexual hormones. So this is one thing that we need to do for sure. Let's put it in one category, just to be fair here. And we can get into the nitty-gritty there as well, but this is like the first thing that we need to do. Second thing, we need to check on inflammation. Very important, because many people, they have like a low-grade inflammation, which sucks energy out of your system. So this is like a high-sensitive CRP, we call it, C-reactive protein. So this is something that I would do, for sure. Then iron storage, ferritin, we call it. Also very, very important, usually overlooked by many physicians, which I personally can not understand. Because usually people, they look at the free iron, but for me it's not enough. It's like, okay, the free iron is fine, but what about the storage? It's very important for me. Then I would say vitamin D, very, very important. Also very sad now, for example, I was just in Austria and I recognized that it's not being paid anymore actually by the insurance. So it's like, okay, you need to pay it for yourself now. Why? Because it's one of the easiest things actually to fix your health. And to be honest, like 90% of the people, they are deficient in vitamin D. Like I live in Dubai. I've never seen a client from Dubai. And believe me, there's a lot of sun there. I've never seen a client in Dubai that hasn't had a vitamin D deficiency.
Really? Interesting,
Never. Never.
Because you always hear, you can just need to get into the sun.
That's bullshit.
That's BS, right?
Yeah, it's BS.
Why is it BS? Why does
because first of all, people are working. And usually they're working inside. So if you think that you get from the 10-minute morning walk that you have before work or like in the weekend, like the 2 or 3 hours you spend outside, you will get enough vitamin D. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It will not be enough. That's the first thing. Second thing is when we go out, what we do, we put on sunscreen, which inhibits the production of the vitamin D as well. So it's just not enough. And also with the food. You have food that's rich in vitamin D. You have fish and mushroom and stuff. But it's like, it's not enough. It's not enough. So that's why I would include that as well, for sure. And last but not least, I would say a parameter that's super interesting to me, especially in this chronic thing, is if you go one level deeper with the inflammation and it's called LPPLA2. LPPLA2, it's a parameter that basically detects inflammation inside of the blood vessel, which is the foundation of atherosclerosis. Yeah. So that we don't want to have. And that's super interesting, especially if you have like a chronic fatigue. And if you have an inflammation, I think you should go a level deeper and check that as well. Yeah, so that would be my top 5, basically.
Okay.
But it depends
Amazing.
on the situation and it depends on the person.
Of course. Sure. That's a good start. I think because I also work with people who eat mainly a plant-based diet, for example, I see those nutrients as well be like critical. So iron, definitely. A lot of plant-based people don't get enough iron, which can lead to low energy. Vitamin D, like we just talked about as well, is crucial. B12, which is a nutrient you cannot get from food, from plant-based food. So usually when they have energy issues, it comes down to that. Or also if they're trying to lose weight or lose fat, then if they spend a long time in a deficit and eating low calories, calories are obviously energy, so you end up having no energy at all, which is interesting. I just finished a diet as well, and towards the end of it, my energy was really, really low. So even though I was eating all the right things and like I got all my nutrients, obviously as you get leaner, I mean, you are pretty lean year round, right? So how do you keep your energy so high? Because I don't know how much percent body fat, but it looks like 10%.
Yeah,
that range.
probably. Like I have not measured it to be honest, but it's like 9 to 11%, I guess. Yeah.
So that's impressive.
Yeah, so I have some veins like between the upper body and like the legs. So I guess that would be like
That would be around that,
proper thing to say. But for me, it's like I have done everything. For me personally, like I have tested like all the diets, I've tested a lot of supplements. I've done a lot with gadgets. And to me, the more that I get into the nitty-gritty stuff and everything, and I do the red light and the infrared, the PBM, I even got a toothbrush that has like near infrared light and stuff. So I'm doing like the nitty-gritty things. But the more I do that, the more I realize how important the basics are. If you don't get like proper sleep, you don't take care of your diet, and you move yourself, then you're just lost. You can have like the best gadgets, you can have the best supplements, you cannot make up for it. And that's what people don't like to hear. Because they say, just give me the pill. I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if I could, I wouldn't do it because you will not learn anything from it. You will take it and just continue your shitty lifestyle. And that's not what I want. Because I'm a coach as well. Yeah. So we have that thing. And that's super interesting, was like a super big insight for me in the last year, and that's frequency. So the people you surround yourself with, and also like what you do to keep your frequency, aka your energy high, is super important. Because like I said before, you can be super like burned out and tired from something that's not working, and then you realize it's working out, and then suddenly you're like, boom. Let's go this, let's go there. And you're like, wait. You just said you have no energy. So where does it come from? It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Yes.
And I try to stick to the scientific evidence-based stuff. But like even like the more that I do that, I was in touch with an astrologist lately. I mean, that's super spiritual, of course. But even there's a side there, like medical astrology stuff where you're like, how do you know that?
Yes.
Or just like an example, and I can't explain it, and it's okay. You don't have to explain everything. Doctors always try to explain everything. For me, I can't explain everything, but I have like a period of the year, and I didn't realize it until I moved to Dubai actually, and it's like between March and April, and I have 1 week, and I don't need sleep basically.
Wow.
I'm going to sleep my usual time, 10:30, 11 latest. I wake up at 4 o'clock. I'm ready to go. And I can't explain it. I don't know why. And I've talked to people who say, I felt the same. And it goes for 1 week, 10 days. And I don't know, does it have to do something with the planets, the moon? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, maybe I'm just like imagining it. Maybe it's just like a placebo, whatever. But yeah, my key message is there is some things that we cannot explain. And the thing with, who are my friends, who is my partner, is so much more important than anything else. Because the supplementation, to be honest, is easy to do. Yeah, you can get like a healthy sleep routine, but the life that you're living, that's the very interesting thing to me.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Have you heard of, or have you looked into the map of consciousness before from Richard, Dr. David R. Hawkins? Highly recommend it.
Like a Hawkins scale?
No, it's not an Hawkins scale. It's a map of consciousness, and basically at each level of consciousness, you have different energy levels, and it goes from the lowest being like guilt and shame.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and then you have like enlightenment at the top and love and everything. Yeah, I know.
It goes through willingness, acceptance, reason.
Yes.
And then beyond reason, which reason is like science-based things, right? Beyond reason is enlightenment, joy, love.
Yeah.
So I love that because I think going down a science route is important. I mean, I'm very science-based as well. But then once you kind of been there, done that, and you've looked at all the studies, obviously it's always evolving, there's always new things. Then tapping into what you're doing right now, which is super interesting, tapping into, okay, what's beyond that spiritually is interesting.
Yes.
So that's fascinating. Yeah, sleep as well. I think I can share my own story. I mean, I did all the right things last year, and I was working out, eating healthy, and all these things, and I still struggle with my energy a lot. And what it turned out to be was I had sleep apnea. So I actually had, for everyone who doesn't know what sleep apnea is, at night, some people, their airway collapses. So you have micro awakenings or micro arousals where you wake up for like a couple seconds just so you can get some air, but you don't necessarily consciously wake up. It just happens, but that interrupts your deep sleep, your REM sleep, and all the benefits you get from sleep. So you wake up. So if you are waking up right now and you are still tired, even though you slept 9 hours, even though you're doing all right things, I would highly suggest look into that and go to a sleep lab, get analyzed. For me, I had to get a septoplasty, which you also had, right? So a deviated septum.
Yeah. You remember that actually?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because I told you like 2 years ago or something.
For sure, no.
Okay.
And
nice.
Did that change something for you? Because for me, it changed a lot. Like it helped me immensely with my sleep, with my energy.
Oh, really?
My lifts probably increased by 15-20% once it healed, like instantly.
Okay, that's
so
cool.
Like lifting with the wrong like airway is also obviously.
Awesome.
So for you, did it change a lot or?
Temporarily.
Okay.
I feel like because I worked in radiology for a few years, and what I observed is, oh my God, these doctors will hate me now, but it's like a lot of people that get the surgery.
Okay.
It goes back actually.
Okay.
So, I mean, especially if it's not properly
done.
News. But it's like, we often saw it like 2 years later, 3 years later, and you have like the pictures before the surgery, then after the surgery, and then 2 years later, it's like, can bounce back.
Okay.
Can bounce back. Yeah. And for me, I feel like that happened. But, yeah, again, I mean, I do so many things. Like I did a lot of breath work last year, like long sessions, intense sessions. I do mouth taping at night, for sure. I do lots of workouts, and maybe that's compensating it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm doing a lot. I don't want to like put it under the table or something. Yes. I am doing a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Let's talk about nutrition a little bit.
Sure.
If you could maybe rank, there's so many different nutrition approaches. Like, what would you say is the best approach to have the most energy? And I can also share my thoughts. Obviously, there's like so many different diets out there. And there's always something new, right? Juice diet, keto diet, and everything that exists. So how would you maybe rank those from like, the best to maybe the worst in terms of getting more energy, feeling better?
I don't think I want to go that way.
Okay.
Because for me, it's like people are always looking for, what's the best?
Yeah.
And to me, it's like there is one way, but there is one way for every person. So some people will thrive on a carnivore diet, some people will thrive on a vegan diet, some will thrive on a paleo, whatever. So for me personally, so what we do is we take a look at the habits of the people that they already have. We take a look at the microbiome, which is super interesting because there's more and more microbia and bacteria that turn out to be very, very essential, especially for energy production or, for example, for the immune system. So we can talk about that later. So that's super interesting to me. And then we also take a look at how the foods spike the blood sugar level, because that's also a thing that many people have, that they have super unregular like blood sugar levels. So they are spiking, they're going into the hypoglycemia and back and everything. So that can also be a reason for the energy problems. So we take that as well. let me kind of create, let's say, their own personalized nutrition. For me, I have very well done with a paleo diet. So I try to cut out processed food. I don't drink. I quit alcohol 4 years ago. It was one of the best decisions of my life, for sure. I don't eat a lot of cow products. I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, so that's a problem. I mean, I live in Dubai. I can drink camel milk, which I love, which is amazing. And I try to avoid sugar. Yeah, I mean, okay, if it's a special setting or like a celebration or something, or maybe the restaurant gives a dessert for free, then I will take it. Yeah, but otherwise you won't find like sugar in my household. So that's what personally worked for me very well. But as I said, I mean, everybody needs to find his or her own way. And then you have the aspect of women again, and that's a very big problem. I'm super curious what you think about it. But I feel like a lot of the PMS stuff and also the hormonal disbalance stuff comes from the nutrition that is not optimized. Yeah, especially like around the period where girls tend to eat less, although they actually need more calories. And that's proven, by the way.
Yes.
So you need like 150 to 250 calories more in the days before your days. And many women don't do that. And once they do that and they eat more fat, healthy fat, of course, proteins, then usually the symptoms can get better. Yeah. Amazing. What's your take on that? Have you realized that as well?
Yeah, I've realized as well. I think in general, when we work with women or when we talk with women who are interested or facing problems, eating too little is actually quite common. So in general, so they're trying to lose weight, trying to get leaner, of course. So it makes sense to eat less. Yeah. But usually it goes as low that it's affecting their body in a negative way, especially their metabolism, of course, their period, like losing their period because they're eating low calories. And then that is reversible, we found. We've had a lot of clients who, once we increased their calories, gave them more carbs, more healthy fats, the period actually came back, which is incredible.
Amazing.
But I think when it comes to hormonal changes, it's also interesting what we've observed with menopausal women. They actually benefit from a more plant-based diet, that's at least our experience. Obviously, it can also work with other diets, but we experience less symptoms, less menopausal symptoms with people that eat more of a plant-based diet and maybe have more soy in their diet as well.
Yeah.
But you mentioned as well, hormones play a big role with energy, obviously a huge topic as well.
Yeah.
But
big one.
What would you say are some of the things to look at there to optimize in terms of nutrition, in terms of recovery?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the problem. Yeah, if you have a cycle, that's one thing. If you don't have a cycle, that's another thing. And if you have an irregular cycle, that's another thing as well. Yeah. So what I'm shocked to see, and I mean, maybe I've had similar experiences, like that many women, they are not aware of their cycle. They don't know how it works, actually, which I think is super important to know. Like, what are the phases and everything? And also, like, some girls that I met, they say, I have like a cycle and a period. And then you ask them, then, once it's like 20 days, then it's like 40 days. And I'm like, that's not a cycle. It's not a healthy cycle. Yeah, healthy cycle should be like, I mean, optimum, 28 days plus minus 3 days. That's something that I would consider as well. Yeah, I mean, if you have somebody and she says like, I've had the perfect period on time, like my whole life, and it's always been 33 days, I would not change a thing, to be honest, because it seems to work, right? Yeah, and then you go into that, and then you can find different things. Yeah, something that we find very often is like a mismatch between progesterone and estrogen. So that's like a very big thing. So either there's like too low progesterone or like too much estrogen. We call it like an estrogen dominance in some cases. I mean, there's also like nuances to that and everything, but let's keep it simple for now. So that's a thing. Then you have the low T thing, which is especially common in men nowadays. It's also very sad to see, and also has to do with libido, like a lot of times. What I think is very, very interesting is prolactin. Prolactin is a hormone that is usually produced when women lactate, so when you're breastfeeding. And it can be like borderline high in cycles. And there are some studies that suggest like an association, not a causality, but like an association between the PMS and the prolactin. Yeah. So you can try to work on that and check that. And then, of course, you have like the crazy stuff that can lie behind. It can be like PCOS or PMOS, how they call it now. It can be endometriosis, something that is overlooked so much. It's crazy. Adenomyosis, yeah, that's also like a problem that can just like exist, And I think you should check for these red flags always. And often, unfortunately, we have the experience that the women, they go to their gynecologist and they're just not checking it properly. Yeah, so there's not like, maybe they're doing the ultrasound and that's it, yeah, which is often not enough. But yeah, that's another podcast.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing that, in my opinion, people should look at when it comes to the sexual hormonal balances. Yeah, I mean, and of course, then you have the thyroid and the adrenal glands. That's like a topic itself. But concerning the cycle, and I think that was your question.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you should know.
That's helpful. Yeah, I think you have such a wealth of knowledge. I think we could sit like for 4 hours and go really deep. No, that's amazing. You mentioned also blood sugar spikes as well when it comes to nutrition. And could you maybe just explain a little bit what that means, what people could look at, and maybe what foods to, avoid or minimize to, avoid is always what gets clicks, Don't eat this food.
It's a bit of a hot topic.
Because I did some research and I know you have some thoughts on oats. So
yeah.
I want to get your thoughts.
I was waiting for that question. Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, basically it's a hot topic. Yeah, the blood sugar thing in general, and then the food, and then you're getting like super hot. So let's start with the low heat. Blood sugar. So we have a blood sugar which is being held like at a constant level. And after you eat, of course, the blood sugar spikes usually. And that's a natural process. So first of all, don't be afraid of the spikes. That's something that's super normal. What is not normal is when you have like spike, low, spike, low, spike, low, spike, low the whole day. So let's say, for example, you drink fruit juices. Yeah. And you take a sip like every 1 hour, for example, and you will have like the craziest blood sugar curse actually. Yeah. So that's one thing. So what I realized is you want to avoid too many spikes. If you have like 2-3 spikes a day, that's not an issue. But it depends also like on the count of the spikes and then what happens after the spike. Because you can have a spike and you can go back to normal and then you just continue the day. Or you can have like a prolonged spike that stays like 2-3 hours. Yeah. And that's too long, basically. Or you can have like a spike and then crush into a hypo. And then you need more food. And that's what you have all experienced as well in the past. So you eat something which is like rich in starch or like rich in sugar. And then you feel amazing for a short time. And then suddenly, boom, you crash. And then you need something sweet again to keep going. And that's something that you want to avoid. So that's the one thing. And the other thing is, what happens to your blood sugar at night? So usually when you have like maybe like 2 or 3 hours between your last meal and then when you go to bed, and then usually it should stabilize. And then you keep it on a stable level until you wake up again and you have like your next meal or maybe like work out in the morning because that also increases the blood sugar. So what happens is there is like a range. And the range, if you go to the doctor, we say, just keep it below 100 milligram per deciliter. And then you have like this gray area, 100 to 125. And it's like a pre-diabetes, but it's not really diabetes. Okay, but what if my blood sugar is like 99 or 100.5? Is that good or not good? That's the question. I mean, we don't know. So what I tend to do is, okay, if you're like sedentary, maybe keep it below 95 just to make sure, just keep a little bit of extra,
Yeah.
Can't hurt. And if you're doing like workouts, then I would go into the 80s. That's something that I would do. So it's not like exaggerated, and it's not like a panic mode, but that's what I feel like and what I've seen from my experience should be like a proper thing to do. People feel good usually at that level. Yeah. So to summarize that, just take care that you don't have too many spikes during the day. If you have a spike, make sure it comes back after like 90 minutes. to the baseline, and you don't crash all the time, and keep your blood sugar stable at night, ideally below 95. So if that's happening, you're good to go. Yeah. What about foods? Now it gets super interesting because I've done multiple rounds of like continuous glucose monitoring and everything, and stuff. And there's like these studies I know that show that like healthy people shouldn't do it because it can like mismatch like, the results. But the thing is like I don't work with healthy people. And I have so much data that I looked at. And for me, it's like crazy to see how different people respond to different types of foods. So you can have like rice, for example, and you will have somebody, they go up and they go down, it's fine. You have somebody that has like barely like an elevation of the blood sugar at all. And then you have somebody that goes crazy on it and you don't come down again like 4 hours. Same thing, for example, with potatoes, with sweet potatoes. I've even had clients that can eat like a whole bar of chocolate. And it goes up, but it's not like what you expect how it would go up. Then you have people that just like a small bite and they go crazy. So what's going on here? I can't really explain it like to 100%, but there seems to be a connection to the gut. How do you process the foods? How does the microbial, like the bacteria, play into that? And then, of course, you have like the typical metabolism thing. I don't like the word metabolism because it's so wishy-washy. You can do everything with it. But there seems to be so many differences that we just can't put a label on the foods. And now that brings me to the oats, which you have been waiting for, I'm sure, for a long time. So what I have observed, so this is my observation from working with, I think, like 1,000 clients by now. What I have observed is that with these clients, they have chronic fatigue. They have a lack of energy. Most of these clients don't respond well to oats. That's what I've observed. Does it make oatmeal a bad food? No, it does not. And I've been roasted on social media for that because I was not careful enough how I framed it. But just to put it like in a safe place here, I have no beef against oatmeal. Let's put it like that. It's fine, especially if you eat it, with a whey or like, I don't know, for example, different protein powder, for your listeners that are vegan, for example, or you put it with nuts, for example, or some, like a good healthy fat component. If you put it with that, there's no reason to worry at all for me. But if you have this problem, and if you have like the burnout, if you have like the chronic fatigue and everything, be careful because you might be affected by that. And I've had hundreds of clients again, and they switch their breakfast from oatmeal to something different. And they're like, okay, that's crazy. I have a different energy now. So what happened was like they went up with the oats, and then they crashed. And because they thought they had like a healthy breakfast, that I don't need more food until lunch, for example. So that's an observation of mine that I had. But it's very specific for my clients and like the type of people that I work with. It's very interesting to me.
What would you switch it to? Was a better alternative in this case?
I was supposed to say eggs, but I can't because...
No, you can, for sure. This is a health podcast.
Okay, that's good, okay. Then I would go for eggs. I personally am a big fan of eggs because it's rich in protein, it's a healthy fat source, you have the choline inside, you have the vitamin inside, and it's quickly done. And I think it's also a very important thing if you go like for a healthy breakfast alternative. So that's my go-to. For example, what I do personally is I take a bit of Greek yogurt and I mix it with my protein powder, put some creatine in it, and then I just do the topping, of like nuts and fruits, whatever I like, whatever I prefer. However I feel like. So that's my breakfast.
So lower in carbs usually.
Yes. For me personally, I thrive better on a protein-rich breakfast and a carb-rich dinner.
Great.
That works for me perfectly well. But again, everybody has to find her own way. And that's just my observation that I have.
Okay, so you had roasted for oats, but juice, it seems like you're not such a big fan of juice either, right? Because
depends.
I'm the same. Like I have some friends who still believe orange juice is healthy, and again, it depends which context you have it. But it's, I think, still a common misconception that fruit juices are healthy. Or what's your take on that?
I mean, it's bad. I mean, it's like we have been brainwashed by so many things. And it's logical. I mean, if you go back like 100, not 100 years, but 60, 70 years, people thought smoking was healthy. Because it was, advertised,
Yeah.
And now you're like, whoa, like what's going on here? Like a friend of mine told me now there's like this anti-longevity movement and people start smoking again. It's not a good idea, just to put it like that. But we have been brainwashed, by the media, by advertisements. And I can remember the ads now that I saw in my childhood, like, like the vitamin C drink, it's basically like orange juice. And you're like, yeah, that's healthy. Yeah, it should be healthy, right? I mean, it's just liquid sugar, if you put it like that.
Exactly.
It's liquid fructose, basically. And usually they add it, like they add sugar even. So I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. And I mean, like, to be honest, I will hop on a flight afterwards and I will have a meal. Will I have like maybe a sip of orange juice with it? Probably. Let's see. Maybe. It won't kill myself. But the problem is like the people who take it, and they take like 1 liter of orange juice and they drink it like throughout the day, it's death for your blood sugar, basically. You're just going like up and down and up and down. It's like a roller coaster of your blood sugar. And, usually the fiber is missing and everything. And like then you have the smoothies and then we can go down this pathway. And like the smoothies are even worse because you have like this really big selection of fruits that you would never eat. Like look at the smoothie itself. You have like 3 packages of blueberries, 2 bananas, 3 oranges, 4 apples. Would you eat it like that? Maybe, probably not. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, if you like combine it like with like more fiber, for example, or like you put like a whey in it or like a healthy fat source, you put in like avocados, whatever, you're good to go in my opinion. But if you just have like the pure fructose, it's not the way to go in my opinion.
So that's in smoothies and juices, but let's say fruit, would you say it's a good snack to have an apple, to have a banana, or is it missing? Because I personally, like I love to have fruit like just like that, almost like as a dessert, kind of like a treat almost. Yeah. But I like to pair it with protein powder or something. So
amazing. Yeah, that's what I would do as well. Yeah. I mean, it depends on the frequency again. If you do it like once a week, like you will not die. It's okay, it's fine, chill. So it's like that. But if you do it like every day, and then also like you said a very important thing, like what do you combine it with? Yeah. Do you have like a shake with it, like protein, or do you have like a healthy fat source with it? Like go for it for sure, absolutely. And then you have the component which we talked about earlier, like where do you stand in your health journey? How fragile are you right now? I mean, if you do like a lot of sports and you just burn it again, I mean, I can have a date before my workout.
Yes.
Like to eat for sure, to put it straight. I can have a day before my workout and it won't hurt me like maybe like the other way around. Maybe it will fuel me, But if you're like on the edge with your blood sugar anyway, and then you put like the date and then you put like the workout, which is also like a disruptor of the blood sugar, that mobilizes the sugar in your blood, natural way, then that might lead to something.
Yes.
That's a problem.
I found for actually like funny side fact for me, my best pre-workout meal, which I have like an hour or hour and a half before, is actually oats with protein powder and peanut butter. That kind of powers me through. But I'm gonna test for breakfast having something different because that's actually a good point. I'll see if that changes something for me. Because usually my breakfast is oats, but maybe I'll change it around and see.
But you can also test, or like everybody who listens to this podcast, is have the same meal, do it in the morning, and have it exactly in the evening. The same thing, like the same amount, and you will check the blood glucose, like with the continuous glucose monitoring, you will see 2 different responses. Why? Because the insulin sensitivity, that's the hormone that brings the sugar into the blood cell, and the way that the cells react to it, it's better in the morning usually for most people. So usually in the morning, you can process it better than in the evening. And if you have listened carefully, you will say, no, but wait, Dominik, you said it's the other way around, right? I said it was for me the other way around, not in general, So that was observed for me personally. But I'm a human being as everybody else, and we are all unique.
Yes.
And that makes it super interesting.
But I like that you have a lot of your carbs more late in the day. I think some people are still afraid, I have carbs like after 7 p.m., I will get fat and all those things. I've personally found that I have my dinner at like 5, 6 p.m. almost. Like that's what my new strategy is, like my biggest meal at that time. And then for later hour, like 7, 8 p.m., I have something a bit lighter, which still is, 700 calories because I have a lot of calories to eat, but it's something that works well for me. Just to kind of wrap that topic in terms of carb sources, which obviously is the main source of energy in food, right? Is there certain carb sources which you prefer to have during the day or in the evening, or carb sources where you say, hey, I would rather maybe white rice I stay away from because of this reason? Or are you pretty flexible when it comes to carb sources and when it comes to the clients as well?
Yeah, for me, I'm pretty flexible with the carbs. I can tolerate rice, I can tolerate potatoes, sweet potatoes, everything. So yeah, that's not a big issue. I try to eat a lot of greens as well, like a lot of salad if possible. I'm aware of quality as well, for sure. I tend to eat more fish when I'm in Dubai, which is my base. I tend to have more meat when I'm here or more eggs when I'm here because I'm aware of the quality. Yeah. So, but also, and that's also a very important thing to me, I also adjust my diet to where I live.
Oh, okay.
Because it's for me like, okay, if I live at the sea, I will eat more fish because of the local catches there, if I'm like in Austria, I will probably not have as much salmon, for example. So I go more into the local food there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I feel it's a big part of the culinary the culinary journey as well. And for me, if I travel to a new country, I want to experience everything, and the food is the culture, So it's like I want to integrate that and adjust to that. And that's for me, and now we're like going a bit forward, but to me, optimal health is like being able to deal with everything. So I've had times where I went super crazy, super strict, Everything was on schedule. Everything was on time. No sugar this, no sugar there, no pizza here, this, there. And then I had like one slice of pizza and I was on the toilet for 3 days. And I was like, whoa, wait a bit. That's not health to me.
Yes.
So I came to a point where I was so optimized that I said, okay, now I'm taking a step back. And I call it microdosing because you're putting like little of the bad things, once in a while, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of, pizza, whatever it is for you. And you know what? You will survive. You will not die. And the body learns to like get used to this kind of foods again.
Yeah.
And then you feel so much better,
Amazing.
And for me, that's optimal health. You have your routines, you have your optimal blood values, whatever, you have your supplement stack and everything, and you can do everything, but you can also survive if you have like a slice of pizza and not like run straight to the toilet.
So you don't have to be perfect to live a long and healthy life? Is that what you're saying? So
I think you have to be imperfect to be perfect. I would even go as far as that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
Because what is perfect in our world? Let's get a bit like spiritual again. What is perfect? I mean, yeah, you can say everything is perfect, or you can say nothing is perfect. You have your partner that you love with all your heart. Is she perfect? Probably not. Probably she has flaws, but because of the flaws, you love her even more,
Yes.
So that's the beauty.
That's beautiful.
And with health, it's the same, for sure.
I don't know if you saw the clip of Stephen Bartlett with Diary of the CEO, where he shared that he had 3 glasses of wine the one night, and then the whole next 3 days were destroyed for him. And he was like complaining on the podcast how he can't afford that anymore. And then there were so many reactions to that, because that's exactly what you just said. It's helpful to a degree to be on point with everything, but if it's to a point where you can't have a glass of wine with your friends or with your family and enjoy those lives, because life is, yes, about having energy and being on track with your goals. But I found, for me at least, after being like super focused and super perfect for many years, being able to step out and, for example, travel and having to figure it out, like what do I eat? Do I take my supplements? How do I get my gym routine? That made me grow so much in different ways.
Yeah.
So now it helped me kind of integrate both, where I do crave a routine. I do need it, just like you probably as well. But I can now switch between that and between enjoyment a lot better. And I do the same thing you do. I do some of the poison on a consistent basis. So,
but you do it consciously, right? And that makes it different. You know, you're aware of it, and you're like, this motherfucker can't hurt me. You know, it's like I will decide what I'll do with you. So it's a mindset thing as well. Yeah, I mean, with alcohol, you mentioned alcohol, and I agree with that absolutely. But for me, like, I don't drink alcohol for different reasons. But I don't think it's like the devil in that kind of sense if you have it once in a while. I mean, there is a big drinking culture here in Europe, which I don't like, to be honest, because everything is like centered around it. And I mean, I live in Dubai, for example, and I will tell you a funny story, okay?
Yes.
So my neighbors, they are from Egypt, yeah? And you know, I sat with them and we got to know each other. They're super cool people, super nice. And then one evening we sat together and they said, Dominik, I have to ask you a question. I said, okay. I said, is it really true? I said, what? I said, that everybody drinks in Europe. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why? Because obviously they're Muslim, yeah?
Yeah.
But for them, it's like, okay, you come together, you have your food, you know, and then you have fun, you know? You talk about, you have the deep talks, you have like, you just have like a conversation. And it's even like branded in that way now that the people are like not living in the West. They're like, why are they doing that? You know, why do I have to have a beer like in the morning and like upper ski and whatever?
Yeah.
Why can't I just and it's all about, you know, the dosage, I know. Yeah, of course. But I feel like if many people use it as an escape and just like, oh, this is not tolerated well if you don't drink. You just have to like, you know, tell your reason why you're not drinking. And it's just like, in my opinion, it's not good.
Yeah, I think it's also goes back to being able to say no. It's not easy, right? Being able to have boundaries and set boundaries, which probably also goes into what you see with your clients. With our clients, at least, I see that as well.
Yeah.
Where they want to start this journey, make all these changes, and then it's usually the environment where people are questioning them, people are inviting them to things, which is nice. I mean, obviously it's nice to be invited to things, but then making it hard, and the client has to build the muscle of saying no, which is a muscle that
for sure
is uncomfortable to build, right?
For sure.
So I love that. I want to dive into supplements as well, because you you have experimented a lot from what I've seen and heard. Obviously, supplements is also a huge thing, like a huge topic, and people make it out to be the solution for your problems, right? You probably have the same kind of what you observe. But what would you say maybe are supplements worth looking at? Not saying like they are the cure, but like worth looking at.
Yeah.
And then maybe what are some of the experiments you've done where you say, maybe not worth it, or
interesting.
Some new things that you've discovered there.
You know, I put a lot of trust in boron because I was reading into it and I was like, okay, it's like with testosterone, it can like enhance it and everything. And it didn't work for me at all. I was super... I did a lot of things to increase my testosterone. I mean, I have naturally high, as you can see from my hair, or not hair. And like I did crazy things. Like I did like a self-experience, like eating 3 raw onions per day.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which I had to cancel because I was basically becoming an onion, and it was super uncomfortable. Wow. So don't do that. So like boron was something that I was super like, I mean, it's probably not worth it. Yeah. I was a bit disappointed by curcuma, because I didn't tolerate it. But okay, that's one thing as well. Interesting thing is ashwagandha. Let's talk about ashwagandha. Because for me personally, I've taken it a long time. And then I got this numbness that is described especially in men. And I was feeling terrible. Like it was like, you could tell me anything, I didn't give a shit anymore. It was like, whatever, It was not depression, but it was something weird, So I feel like men should be a bit cautious with ashwagandha. But I realized now, I'm testing something now. So I used to take like the 600 milligrams, 800 milligrams, that's like around. And now I'm doing like a microdosing with 80 milligrams. And that works perfectly fine with me.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Very interesting, I'm a big fan of mushrooms, like the medicinal mushrooms, like cordyceps, chaga, reishi. That's something that people should look into, in my opinion. They're super expensive. That's the catch. And if they're not expensive, be careful. Because they are like cultivated in an environment that's super sophisticated. So usually because they act like a filter, Yeah, you don't take the wild mushrooms that are grown in the wild, but you take the cultivated ones, which are in good conditions, like like filter and everything, like in the warehouses and everything, so they don't absorb the toxic stuff. So that's a procedure that's, you can already feel it. That's just expensive, and that's why the product usually is expensive as well. Cordyceps is a raw material. It was once more expensive than gold, as far as I know. So it's also very expensive. People used to gift it in Asia for like business deals or like big celebrations and stuff. So this is something that people should look into. Yeah, it's expensive, and in my opinion, it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's something that people should go for, actually.
To increase their energy, because I've tried the mushroom coffee or mushroom cacao, I think.
Oh.
And
I don't like that.
it was actually for my brain performance and my focus. It was really, really good.
Okay, interesting.
So I need to get back to that actually.
Okay.
But I tested that for a while.
Have you tested liquids?
No, I haven't actually.
Yeah, the liquids are super interesting because the dosage is much higher.
Okay.
So you have like the 30x, something like that dosage, than you get from the powder.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get like in the higher dosages, you should probably get into the liquids as well.
Okay.
And that's interesting to me. Yeah, I do it like, how do you say it? Like every 3 months, every 4 months I do it. And it works perfectly fine for me. It can increase energy. It can improve the sleep for me. And it can also strengthen the immune system. That is also something that I observed for me personally. Depends on the mushroom and the thing. So yeah, that's something that people should look into. But again, it will not be like the cure to all your problems. Mm-hmm. It's just one thing. And that's where I see the supplements critical. Because again, many people I've worked with, they have spent so much money on supplements that it's not even funny anymore. And they have tested like everything, and they did everything. And usually they have most of the products in their plan that they already had, but from a different manufacturer and a different dosage. So either they buy supplements that are not high quality, or they have the high quality, but they don't take enough or too much of it as well. So there's like a fine line.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. For sure. What about you?
For me, honestly, I've tested a lot. I've tested boron as well.
And?
Tonga Ali, like that in combination.
How did it work for you?
For me, it worked nice. Okay. Yeah, I think I bought like a supplement. I don't want to say the name, but it had all in one.
Yeah, sure.
It was like a natural testosterone boosting supplement.
Okay.
And I have to say, it actually had me have more confidence, more outgoing with like testosterone kind of like symptoms of that, right? And Tonga Ali also helped with libido, especially, which is interesting. But I do have to say, the supplement also came with a lot of zinc, which obviously also is helpful for testosterone, right? But then I looked into that if you have too much zinc for a prolonged period of time, your copper could be affected by that negatively. Sure. And I found it a bit spooky. So I'm now looking at maybe not getting the whole one, but just getting it one by one, testing it again.
Okay.
But long story short, for me, it was quite nice,
okay,
I have to say.
Awesome.
And then for me, again, the mushrooms I've tried, I think for me, the biggest one is, just B12, vitamin D, like the normal ones. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on red light therapy? I know you mentioned it before. That's something that you are doing or have done.
Yeah.
Obviously, also a big topic. But have you felt a difference, or what does the research say when it comes to improving recovery, energy?
Yeah, it's super interesting. So let's get nitty-gritty for a moment, okay? So you have your mitochondria, and you have like the electron chain, the transportation chain. So basically you're creating energy out of it, you're producing ATP. And you have an enzyme there, it's called CCO. It means cytochrome C oxidase, I think I pronounced it right in English. So cytochrome C oxidase in German. Cytochrome C oxidase. And this enzyme can convert light. So if you go with the near infrared light, it will actually respond to that. And there is research on that. There is science on that, basically. So am I saying that you can create energy out of light? Yes. Basically, yes. It sounds crazy, but it's true. And I mean, we have all been there. Like, you have more sunny days. Now it's summer here in Switzerland. and you're going out more and everything. Yeah, and there seems to be a factor to it. Everybody that's been on vacation knows what I'm talking about. But there's like this specific enzyme that can actually like create more energy out of the light. And that's why I'm a big fan of it. I do it every day. I usually do it 10 to 20 minutes. There's a lot of bullshit products out there, by the way. There's so many technical stuff that you should be taken care of. It's hard to get into that. Honestly, I don't remember everything of it. I have like a list and everything that I check. But it's something that it's part of my routine and has been part of my routine for many years. And I'm a very big fan of it. Again, it's not the answer to everything, yeah, but it's a part that can be very interesting. And you know something completely off science that I have observed? Because usually my clients, they're very skeptical towards the light thing. They're like, I mean, Dominik, I get you, like the supplements and everything, but a red light lamp, like, it's just like, I'm saying, okay, try it, test it. And you know what they say? I will never give it away. And that's like 90% of the people say it. That's it. And what also many clients of mine told me, you know, they have like, I don't know, pets, yeah? Cat, a dog, a bird, whatever. They're not moving away from it. They're going there. They're sitting directly in front of the light. And to me, that's insane. And I cannot explain it.
Yes.
But I feel like, because I've experienced war and everything this year, because I was living in Dubai, and I realized that pets are like, animals are very sensitive to things happening or about to happen. So they have like a seventh sense, I think. And that's something that hundreds of people have told me. Like their cat or their dog, they love the red light. They just sit in front of it all the time. They don't go away from that. So they seem to be somehow attracted to it. Whatever that means.
What would be a routine? Obviously, like we can go deep, but like if someone is interested in starting with that, like when should they do it? In the morning? For how many minutes? Or is there like an...
So if some clients have observed that if they do it too late in the evening, that their sleep will suffer. I mean, maybe it's like an paradoxon that's, gets switched, and then you have like too much energy maybe for the night, and then you can't sleep anymore. So if you're like starting it, I would suggest to do it in the morning. But most of the people, they won't have a problem with doing it in the evening. So you have the red light and the infrared. The red light obviously is more for the superficial stuff, for the skin and everything. The infrared, which usually is near infrared, goes deeper, and it enhances like blood flow, detoxification, everything. And then you have the energy production thing, actually. So I usually do it 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. So I have no problem with doing it in the evening. I would not overdo it, like not more than like 20 minutes. And I personally, and I'm aware of saying that, I combine it with methylene blue. So I've been taking methylene blue for many years. I don't recommend it because it's not a recommendation, and in some countries it's actually illegal. So it's just what I personally do, and for me that has enhanced the effects as well. Yeah.
Amazing. I gotta try it.
Yeah.
Maybe one last thing to kind of wrap up, because currently, like we are going like worldwide. There's a lot of things happening in the world right now that are stressful for a lot of people. And you just mentioned, I mean, you had war basically in front of your doorstep, which is obviously really tough. But all the other things with AI, like people losing jobs and a lot of other stressful life events, which also can affect someone's energy and health. What would you say to those people that maybe are feeling afraid, feeling stressed out, feeling kind of tired from those events? Obviously, it's a big question, but have you found, because you have experienced war like firsthand now, kind of how do you approach that, like as a mindset perspective?
I mean, that's a good question. For me personally, there was two things that saved me in this time. The first thing were my routines, which are on point. And that was something that just kept going. I was super surprised, actually, how far you can go with the routines. And actually, and we talked about in the retreat as well that we had with our clients, I have never had a time where I had better routines than during the war. Because it was just like this, okay, this is the thing that I actually can influence right now and that I have under control right now. Yeah. And also I was joking, I mean, if I die tomorrow, then at least I have had a perfect sleep score in my last day. So it's like, it's getting a bit of like, okay, dark humor. And that was the first thing, the routines. And the second thing, the people you surround yourself with. Because I knew people who were like sleeping in the bathroom like for weeks because they were so terrified and everything. And I have people like they flee the country or try to flee the country and they had like an accident along the way.
Oh, damn.
And for me, it was just like I was with my mom this time, who is incredible person with an extraordinary mindset as well. And with her, I don't want to say it was fun because that would obviously be like a bit of an exaggeration, but we did fine. Yeah. So the people you surround yourself with, the partner you have, it's so important, especially in this kind of situation, because imagine if you have somebody who's just like panicking like all the time and it's a tough situation. I don't want to like put myself in anyone else's shoes, and like it's a situation where you can panic, absolutely. But I think like because I've also experienced the pandemic, and the pandemic should have taught us one thing: we should not panic. We should stay calm. Yeah, we should rely on official information because there was a lot of misinformation. Yeah, and we should stay positive. Yeah, and it will pass. And that actually has helped me, like going through the pandemic and having these learnings to say, okay, you know what, it will be tough and everything, but it will pass. You know, so there's no sun without rain. You know, no joy without pain. Yes. And if you realize that, then you know, okay, it will not take forever. The good days and the bad days, and that's something that has helped my mindset very well, because I used to be like a super like up and down person. So like if everything was going well, I was like in God mode. I was like nothing can touch me. Yeah. And then if everything was like going super badly, I was like, this is the end of my life. I cannot do this anymore. You know, there was like this big extreme. And you know what? I heard this saying, and it's so good. It says, whether you think you're shit or the shit, you're both wrong. Both times you're wrong. And it's true. I mean, the truth lies in the middle somewhere, you know. And I mean, we have all been humbled because we thought we were like extremely good right now. And then on the other hand, like, don't put your head like in the sand because something is going not the way you want it to. It will pass. The good thing and the bad thing.
Amazing. Hey, I love that. That's an amazing kind of ending to the episode, I think. What an incredible feedback and input you've given. It's freaking amazing.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they want to work with you, if they want to improve their health, improve their energy? Where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, my name is Dominik Klug, Klug. So you'll find me. I've had a TED Talk, which is actually in English for all the people who are actually English speaking. So that will be something that they can look into actually. My main work is usually like, German. You'll find me on Instagram, Dominik _Klug, but it's mostly German language. Also, the podcast that we have, Daily Med by Dominik Klug, is also in German mostly. We have some episodes in English. But if you want to work with me one-on-one, just send me an Instagram DM. We also do coaching with English-speaking people. Yeah, so we have coach clients from all around the world, not only Europe, also UAE. And that's possibly like the best way to get in touch with me. Just send me a DM.
Amazing. Yeah, I'll link everything below so they can find you. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for all the knowledge. And
awesome.
Thanks everyone for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, either on YouTube or on podcast, wherever you're listening or watching, make sure to subscribe and leave a comment if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. And we'll talk soon.